Hi, welcome, welcome, welcome. And I'm just going to take a major moment and bring some amazing people to this stage, some amazing artists. Um, Hi, my name is Magali Kaliman Christopher, and I am the producing artistic director of Conchal Productions. And today I am moderating a live artist chat. And everyone out there, I invite you to go in and jump into this live artist chat with your comments wherever you are, where you are going to respond to it. Put it in the chat box because this is a special treat. I'm taking a pause. Special treat. Can I say special treat? Special treat. Like big treat. And we have today Cris Eli Blak. We have today Petron Brown. And why do we have them here today? We have them here today because, hey, we're having our annual fundraiser, CSP Conchal Productions New Works Fest. And it's taking place December 8th and 9th in partnership with HB Studio at HB Studio Playwrights Theater at 124 Bank Street in the Village, as in New York City. And we are chatting with Cris Eli Blak and Petron Brown because we're going to be featuring their plays in the fest. But first, let's just talk to them. Hey, Petron. Hey, Cris. What's up? What's up?
How's
How
it
are you?
going?
You are so much more awake than I am, Magley.
Why am I so much aware? What did you do today? I mean, come on. How crazy was your day? Because let me
What
tell
did
you, it
you
was
do
crazy.
today is what I want to
I took a
know.
nap. I took a nap.
Well, there
Okay.
you
I
go.
like a
I did
nap.
not.
I took a nap. I took a nap. So you're both first year CSP Artist Collective members. Tell me, how has it been for you? Thank you so much for joining our community of artists. As you could see when we were talking, when we showed the opening sequence, Conchal Productions, we focus on the voice of the Caribbean diaspora. So how has it been being part of our Artist Collective this year? I'll open the floor up to Petron.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. It's been, I think I would describe it as like a homecoming, even though I've never been a part of the collective. And this is my first year, it feels like a homecoming. And the only reason is because I've spent the last 6 years studying here in the US away from my actual home country in the Bahamas. And for so much of my time here, I've just been away from the core of my Caribbean identity, I felt. And being a part of this collective has been both a big breath in and an exhalation in terms of just like I feel like I can breathe. Being a part of this collective has made me feel like I can breathe.
Hmm.
It's been excellent just surrounding myself with a group of people who know what it is to be Caribbean and to feel that spirit.
Wow, thank you, Petron. Chris.
Yeah, I don't know if I can put it much better than that, but I love that word homecoming. But I also love the word diaspora because I think that just shows how broad all of us are. And
Hmm.
I think that being in an artist collective pushes that idea even more because it's not just broadness in culture and background and identity. It's broadness in the stories we have to tell and the voices that we use and the voices from our backgrounds and our cultures that we then allow to bleed out onto the page and in the stories we write. So, it's great to be in any collective with any artist because any good collective pushes you to do better and pushes you to want to work so that you can have your stuff alongside other talented people who are doing the same thing as you. But it's so different when it's people who you can identify with, which is not the case every day in theater. A lot of artist collectives and groups and spaces don't look like this one and don't sound like this one. And a lot of times you're the only one representing a diaspora, period. And so it's not as much a homecoming as it is a, you know, a thing, just a thing. So to be in a space with so many different people who are all using their voices and all using it for a reason and with a purpose. No one's story that I've seen in this group for the past however many months has just been someone throwing something on a page. It's always been writing with a purpose. It's always been writing to further find their identities and connect to their backgrounds and make a homecoming with their ancestry, or trying to understand something. And I think that when you're in a group like that, it's just monumentally more interesting and inspiring, because then you also want to explore, and it also opens your mind. So yeah.
Wow, I love this. I love this. Thank you so much. So here's my thing. Everything you said is so true. And I have to say, as the founder of the organization, every time we have our meetings every month, you all blow my mind. I'm just like, these people are such a blessing to my world. I like look forward to our meetings. I look forward to reading your pages. I look forward to everything. And now I'm really looking forward to our New Works Fest in December. And so I'm just going to go ahead and throw the baton your way, Petron, since we've already started in that direction. So not only are you the writer of opening night, you're also performing in it. And thank you for inviting me to direct it for you. How are you juggling both roles?
So, I will be receiving my MFA in theater performance, in a couple months. So strangely, it felt like a calling to be both a playwright and a performer. I came into this MFA program. If you see behind me, I just completed my thesis project. It was Dr. Faustus. So I played the damnable doctor, and this is our mood board of image inspirations behind me. So I'm very glad that it's here. In this
I
space.
love it.
Yeah, no, I was a performer first, and upon getting here to performance program, I realized pretty early on that I was also very interested in writing, and not that I wanted to give up performing, but I wanted to try and propel both in my future. So it can be difficult sometimes trying to jump from the playwright to the performer. But what I will say though is the performer helps the playwright so much. When we're in rehearsals, I'm in rehearsals with you, Magali. When I'm in rehearsals, the questions that I ask as a performer are I force myself as the playwright to try and answer those. I'm like, I don't have an answer for you, the performer, but I will come back to you. So it's a lot of this duality of me separating myself into the performer and the playwright. But boy, is it a joy. I think it's great.
Fantastic. So tell us a bit more about what inspired you to write opening night. What are the key themes that you're exploring in your play that everybody's going to come see on December 9th?
Yeah, so opening night is a short one-person play that explores what it means for an artist of color to send their work out into a very white theater world, a very white theater space, and sort of the artist fighting for the resonance of their voice. When I'm sure that a lot of us can attest that when we sometimes hesitate, or at least I do. I'll speak from the I have a lot of hesitations when I write my work because I fear that the complexities of it, not in a pretentious way, but I just fear that the complexities of it won't be understood, especially in programs where so many of the people aren't from my background or don't look like me. You really wonder, and then you get to production, and then it's confirmed. It's like, yeah, they really did not. They didn't get it. They totally didn't understand. All of your fears were totally correct. So what this piece is basically a pouring out of the work. It was sort of ill received, or they didn't get it. Just simply, they didn't get the work, and this is what the artist has to say. A sort of a redemption of you didn't get it. Now how can I try to make you get it by sort of beating it into your skull? Strangely enough, the play was sort of introduced to me on a whim. Actually, I was a part of this performance educator kind of conference where I was recruited to write a performance piece and then perform it, and then it would then be presented and translated into classroom and education. The first piece that I wrote for this program, she told me I couldn't use it just because there were K through 12 students in the room, and some of the themes were a little bit much for that. So I had 2 nights to try and come up with something. And what's so interesting about it is I'm in a playwriting workshop right now, and we're talking about sitting in the stink, sitting in the danger zone of not having anything to write and being in front of the page and the words just aren't coming. Like oftentimes we go and we do something else. But like, how do you force yourself to sit in that stink, sit in that danger zone? And this is what came about. I was forced to dig into the deepest parts of the things that bothered me, that I didn't know bothered me, and pour it all in that page just because I had 2 nights to dig, and I could not go and like take a walk in the park. I had to sit there and dig deep inside of me and find out the things that were bothering me. And it turns out that the things were that I worry deeply about the work that we all create, and if it's going to be received well, if people are going to get it.
Yeah. I totally understand what you mean, because we do write for the audience, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're not writing for ourselves. We're not sitting at home waxing poetic, and even poets write for an audience. So I totally understand how you feel. And sitting in the stink, Cris.
I don't like that my name came up after stink.
I'm talking about sitting in the stink. I mean, look, I had the pleasure of directing your play.
Yes.
Between Dog and Wolf as part of our Blue Light series. Conchal Productions has an online Blue Light series, and it was fun and amazing. But that was a lot of journey. And now you're presenting the pitfalls of exaggerated swagger.
Yeah.
Tell us a bit more about your writing process. I mean, how often do you write a week? Are you constantly at it? Because you bring pages regularly to our gathering. I mean, do you sit in the stink a lot?
Well, before can we use a different word?
Sit in the
lavender, maybe. Well, before I talk about myself, I'm going to talk about myself. But before I talk about myself, I just want to say how proud I am of Petron. I just want to put that out into the space. I met Petron as an actor. He acted in one of my shows in a kind of an online reading or performance of one of my shows, like 2 years ago. And to see him now as this like multi-hyphenate who is also attending my alma mater. I mean, it's just, he's getting his grad degree where I got my undergrad degree at USM. So to see a fellow Golden Eagle achieving and really succeeding in theater, which if you look on the notable alumni is not something you'll find. It just makes my heart just chase out my chest. I mean, the kids got it. The kids got it. Somebody get this guy.
Come on. I'm so inspired by you, Cris. Come on.
So I just wanted to put that out in this space because he's just continuously doing great things. But I do what I love to do. People ask that question. I'm always like, well, do you think someone ever asked LeBron, why do you keep bouncing that ball? It's because that's the thing, he loved to do. And it's the thing that he had his eyes set on a goal, and knew his potential and chased it. Now I am no LeBron, but it's what I love to do. I truly, it's the most beautiful, at times frustrating thing to sit down and write. But I have too many stories in my head and too many characters in my head to think of doing anything else. So when it truly isn't me sitting down and saying, let me write a play. It's me saying, let me tell this story that's sitting on my shoulder, and these characters who have raised their hand and given me permission to tell their story. And I feel like that's an obligation of mine. And I feel like I wasn't a theater kid. I didn't study theater. Theater was something that fell in my lap, and playwriting was something that fell in my lap and was completely, accidental, or maybe it was preordained, but it was nothing I planned. And so when something like that is handed to you, and kind of the strange life that I've lived for the past few years because of it, you don't just put that to the side. You see it through and you chase it and you give it your all. But there is plenty of sitting in the stink, so to speak. There is plenty of writing things that people might not understand. There's a lot of telling stories in a way that might make people uncomfortable. There's a lot of telling stories that make you uncomfortable. But when you love something, you have to keep going. You have to keep fighting for it. Like any relationship, you keep fighting for it and you see it through, and you do your best to push it out. So yeah, I mean, that's the answer. I just love to do it. I can't see myself doing anything else.
And I have a question.
Yes.
The title.
Yes.
The Pitfalls of Exaggerated Swagger.
Correct.
I mean, a lot of times people ask me, oh, so you wrote this piece, is it autobiographical? And I hate it when they ask me that question. I'm like, I am the source, but don't ask me that.
Yeah.
So what's the source for this title, and what are the key themes that you explore in your play?
Yeah, I mean, the source of the title is I stole it. I don't remember from what, though. Someone asked me this the other day. It was like some kind of TED talk or some kind of speech or something that a woman was giving, and she was talking about kind of the response of men of color when it comes to trauma and when it comes to masculinity, and just kind of how a lot of times men of color feel the need to live their life with this exaggerated swagger, and that can cause a lot of not expressing yourself and not allowing your emotions to be emoted, and just kind of shoving things down for the sake of being manly or whatever you want to call it. And that can lead to a lot of damage as well. And she labeled it the pitfalls of exaggerated swagger. And I said, thank you, and put it in my back pocket. And, it was one of those cases of having the title before I had the play. I just knew I wanted to use that as a title, period. And it was months before I finally landed on what the story was. But yeah, that's where it came from. It came from some speech from some person who will hopefully not sue me for it. Yes.
So I take it, and the themes, yeah.
Yes, and the themes. I mean, it's the themes. The things that I try to explore in everything that I write. Themes of masculinity, themes of mental health, themes of relationships and family, and redemption, and the search for redemption, and the struggle of redemption, but also the beauty in struggle, and how sometimes the things that have happened to us and the things that have affected us can also bring us together and bring us back around, and lead to love, and lead to healing and peace. And so yeah, so it's about a family who is dealing with all those things, and trying to get it together, and trying to find their ways back to each other, even though it seems that they keep running into walls, because they can't let each other in. And what happens when you don't have a choice but to break open, and but to reveal these parts of yourself that you might otherwise hide behind physical strength or addiction, or talent. And it's things we all do, even if we don't realize it, to try and, especially in kind of the social media age, create this picturesque version of ourselves that can't be touched and that doesn't have any issues. But what happens when there's no screen and no filter to cover that, and all you have are people who, you know, kind of take the hammer and break you open, and everything pours out.
Love it. I love it. I love it. Thank you. So I have a question. So the journey as a writer, I mean, I'm one of those people, I write something and I let it sit for months, years, pull it back out, work on it again, sit. So it like marinates. It marinates. And in our process, we have our amazing dramaturg, Jasmine Francoise, providing us with notes, feedbacks on what we've written so that we can take our piece to the next level in the rehearsal process before we present a reading. Because this is all about development of the work, right? So when you come on December 8th or 9th, you're going to be seeing works in progress, works in development. So Petron and Cris, tell me, how has it been working with our dramaturg? Is that a new experience for you to have a dramaturg available to you to give you notes before you take another stab at your piece, or give you notes as you're taking stabs, giving you feedback that are structural? Because basically, if you don't know what a dramaturg is called the script doctor. I'll tell you if your script is sick, I'll tell you if your script is healthy. In basic layman terms, our dramaturg, everyone's dramaturg, is like a very essential part of the process of developing your work to make sure that the messages are clear for the audience. So how has it been for you in this process preparing for the New Works Fest?
Yeah, I can go first. Yeah, it's so interesting because you work on a piece for so long that it's hard to sort of like Vujade, you know, come to it with some newer eyes. And that's always been a difficult thing for me. So having Jasmine look at it and ask the questions that I can't ask because I thought I answered all the questions that needed to be asked. Yeah, it really makes you realize what the piece really is. I mean, when I met with Jasmine, she said one thing to me that really, really made me realize where this piece was going. She said this one thing here stuck out to me, and she asked me this question, and I said, oh, that's what this piece is about. That's the through line that I need to go and carry the torch home. Like, I need to revisit this. I can't say this here and not come back to this. Because consciously, because, you know, I'm the playwright, I also have all this background information that I think that the audience will somehow also subconsciously get from me too. You just don't realize. Yeah, it's been great working with Jasmine. She really made me realize that that you have to say it too. Like, you can't think that your audience is gonna know.
Gets it.
You don't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I mean, everything that was just said. I think that the fun part about being a playwright, right, is that you play all the parts while you're writing it. While you're writing it, you're the writer. You get to play every character. You get to be the director because you're directing where the story goes. You're producing. You're doing everything while writing it. So much so that by the time you finish it, you're so done. you type in the play and you're like, there's nothing that needs to be fixed. There is no typos. There is nothing. And you save it as a PDF and you put it away. And it's like a kid. You give birth to it, you raise it, you send it off to college. Please don't ever come back home. And what a dramaturg does, a dramaturg is like the student loan debt. And the dramaturg is like, no, the kid's coming back home. It can't afford to live on its own. And tells you, kind of, I lost track of that metaphor completely. But the dramaturg tells you how it can be better, and how it can grow, and kind of how it still needs some marinating and needs some life lessons and needs some teachings to help it become what it needs to become slowly. And everyone's opinion of the piece is going to be different. But like Petron was saying, you need someone other than yourself to look at it, because we all think what we have is gold, and then we quickly find out it's just soil. And dramaturgs like Jasmine are really helpful because none of Jasmine's notes are prescriptive. By which I mean, Jasmine never gives a note that says the play should do this, the character should do this, or even saying, why doesn't the character do this? Maybe the character should do this, or the story should go this way, or you should make this clear. She asks questions, which is monumentally more helpful, because like Petron was saying, then you get to answer them. And it's a lot more fun too, because you realize that everything you write is a puzzle. And you get to solve it the best that you can. And what Jasmine does by asking those questions of, well, how do they meet? What is this relationship? How did we get here? As a playwright, that tells me, oh, there's still pieces missing of this puzzle that I thought was a complete picture. I thought it was 100 pieces, it's 500 pieces. Let me find the rest. And let me look under the cushions and under the chairs until I find the answers to these questions. And the picture isn't completely complete because it will never be, but it's a little bit more clear. And that allows, when it does get in front of an audience as a work in progress, it to be its best self in the moment, and open itself up for questions from other people who aren't involved. And so really the dramaturg is that kind of tunnel through development. And I had Jasmine as a dramaturg with Between Dog and Wolf as well, and she just has an innate understanding of relationships, and she tackles dramaturgy as a human, not a dramaturg. She isn't coming at it with some heavy, which she could because she's like getting a PhD. So if she came with like very heavy academic questions, it'd be understandable. But she comes with it as a human. Like, okay, they're going through this, they went through this. Let's look at how it affected them, and let me ask these human questions, not dramatic artistic questions or very specific technical questions that would make my head explode. And that makes it so much easier for me. And I think that she just understands it. So yeah.
Fantastic. And you have to come to our New Works Fest and meet Jasmine, because she's going to be leading the post-reading conversations. We always have post-reading conversations, so you can keep on talking with these amazing playwrights. So we're going to close out now. I want you gentlemen to come up with a short phrase to tell people, if they haven't bought our tickets yet, why they need to come to Conch Shell Productions New Works Fest in December 8th and 9th. Boom!
Yeah, you must come see the New Works Fest. Your life depends on it.
We will find you and your family. There are a lot of Caribbean people involved. We will find you, and we will bring our cousins.
The good home,
and we'll make you love it.
Yeah. A lot of jerk chicken at the New Works Fest.
Okay, I'm not supporting that promotion. All not being supported. No jerk chicken being provided. It's in the spirit. All right.
The spirit of it. The
spirit of jerk chicken.
Jerk chicken and pate and marinade. I'm Haitian, so I'm going to speak about what we do. So, all right. Now you've met these amazing writers, and their works are going to be presented. 2:00, Petron's play will be presented as part of the 1X Fest. And 6 p.m., Chris's play will be a standalone because it's a full-length play. And you have to get your tickets. How do you do it? You see this information at the bottom? That's our website, conchshellproductions.com. Go there, get your ticket. And, I understand you're not in New York, you're in LA. That's okay. This is our annual fundraiser. Support these voices, because our community of writers, we stay together. We're going to continue growing together. And your support allows us to even go further. Imagine a world where the New Works Fest is fully produced thanks to your support.
Hey, there it is.
My gosh. And you know what? You got to get a ticket for each, because each play is going to be presented once, not twice, not 3 times, once. Okay, so get your ticket. And it's a very small theater, very limited seats. So don't be shy. Get it now. So, by the way, on the 25th, November 25th, you're going to meet 2 other writers. And I'm going to be talking about my play, because my play, Hello Cousin, will be part of the fest as well. So on the 25th, you're going to meet Rivka Rivera and Frank Robinson. And they're going to be talking about their plays, The Mourner, written by Rivka Rivera. Why? Written by Frank Robinson. So, boom, drop that mic. Boom, boom, boom. Everybody, seriously, support Caribbean diaspora and Caribbean writers. Support us. And by the way, if you do donate, it's a tax deductible donation.
Hey.
Love it. All right. Thank you so much for being here with us. We're going to let you go on a little beat, on a little bit of rhythm. We're going to take off right now. Thank you.